Hello and welcome. I'm TheChronicPhenix, and this is Minecraft, specifically the Wandering World, whose name actually makes sense now. See, things might look a little bit different to you once we come on over this hill. Yes, well, we recognize this fence, but the village looks, a little bit bigger. And what is that giant mountain range in the background? There's a perfectly logical explanation for this, and it is called incompetence. Yeah, so what happened was after the last video where I was testing out redstone farms and stuff, I came up with some ideas on how to potentially make it better, use less resources, yada yada. So I opened up a creative world in order to test it. But things were not working quite right with the creative world, so I tried opening up the Wandering World again and tried regenerating the creative world that I made. And somewhere along the way, I was deleting one of the old creative worlds, and I went to go log on to the Wandering World for more testing, only to find it was gone. Poof. Out of there. So that was mildly unfortunate. I spent some time researching, seeing if there was any way to recover it. There was one potential way, but for whatever reason, it did not work for me, unfortunately. So I did the only thing that I really could do. I created a new world and put myself into spectator mode, and then just flew and found the nearest village. I wanted to start again, or I one sec. I'm distracted. Okay, thank you. Yes, this is a partially destroyed villager house that I turned into my house, and he still seems to think this is his bed, even though it's been replaced, so the more you know. Anyway, so I generated a new world, flew to the nearest village because I wanted to replicate the progress I had made in the first 4 episodes, or 3, depending on how much footage I had. I wanted those to still be accurate to the progress that I was making in the world, and not just have those be wasted or have to restart the whole thing, because they weren't great, but I liked them, so. Yeah, so what I did was I just generated a new world and flew on over here, and this is a normal world, so I have no idea what that is. Like, that's some amplified terrain kind of stuff going on over there. I was pretty sure that could not spawn in a normal world, but I'm not complaining. That is super cool, and I cannot wait to build something crazy over there. Like, that's just awesome. I particularly like the sort of open-ended cave. What I'm thinking is having a bunch of smaller buildings and stuff spread throughout the floating islands and mountains and whatnot, and have like rope bridges and stuff connecting them. I think that would be super cool. And then maybe some sort of floating keep that's held with like big chains down from this central area. I think that could be super, super cool. Yeah, so this village is a little bit bigger, so in some ways I have certainly sped up progression. I was working on building that previous village up to a larger scale, much like this one, and that's good. And these are good. I'm just clearing up the roads a little bit. Yeah, so in some ways this world has sped up some progress. I mean, I have a much bigger village. I have that sweet terrain over there. And in other ways, it really slowed down progress. I put a fair bit of time, like, I was only 4 episodes in, right? But I still had to put a fair bit of time getting this thing back up to speed. Man, okay. I went mining over here. Also, our nether is a mess. But I went mining over here, and I had so little luck. I eventually managed to get roughly the same amount of resources, but it took about 3 times as long. It took me like 3 hours mining to make up for the resources. I was having no luck in strip mining. Still at Y level 12. So I guess I just got unlucky. We found some cool stuff around here, and we have great access to obsidian, but man, it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I do quite like how this place looks. However, this is horrible. This past year, off topic, well, sort of off topic. This past year, I've really been trying to overcome my sort of perfectionist tendencies and need for symmetry, but this was unintentional. This was not about that. I originally was just sort of strip mining, just trying to gather the materials. I wasn't really thinking anything through, and so I just dug these 2 tunnels, and if this part of me really wants to just make up a bunch of smooth stone and fill all of this in and then redig the tunnels so they're symmetrical. I know that's insane, but man, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much to look at, but I digress. So yeah, this is the mine. I quite like how it looks. It's very easy to get up and down it. Honestly, part of what made this take much longer was this sort of stuff. You can see it if I head on over into the nether, and I'll show you what I did in the village as well. You can see right here, dug away this little place, made it a nice little interesting portal. I didn't necessarily want it within the that is loud, within the town itself, just in case zombie pigmen and stuff spawn through. I know they shouldn't be hostile to the villagers, but I didn't want anything to happen because of the iron golems. Like, if a zombie pigman came out and an iron golem attacked it, I didn't want the other pigmen to maybe, if more spawn, to get angry and attack the villagers. I have no idea how likely that is. That was just my line of thinking. But yeah, so this is actually only 1 block deep, and we are... Oops. Dang it. Yes, good. And we are in... What's this biome called? I don't know any of these new biomes. Basalt. I know it has a name. Basalt deltas, that's what it is. Yeah, so I believe this is the one biome, maybe 2, where ghast still spawn in the nether. Which is very inconvenient since this is 1 block thick, and I do not believe basalt is all that strong against explosions. But I reinforced it a little bit as we are right over a lava lake, and then built, again, not a hugely fancy staircase, but fancy enough. We have a nice little starting room over here, and yeah, this whole place is wildly dangerous. We get all types of spawns over here. Zombie pigmen, normal pigmen, slimes, gas, all that jazz. And if you were watching the previous episodes, you would have seen that our nether experience then was super safe. We spawned in this nice little enclosed ravine with resources everywhere. It was glorious. But while it was a lot more hazardous, I did manage to get the required materials. So the only thing I haven't done in this world yet that is in keeping with the previous one is I did not remake the farm, because I had some ideas for how to change it, but I want to run some tests first. Plus we have a bunch of farmers and farms up and running anyway. So yeah, this is the new village. There's quite a few villagers. I haven't counted them. We also have some nice roads. We have tons of animals. Like, every kind of animal is here. There's some pens with animals, but just a lot of roaming ones too. Pigs, cows, sheep. Like, as much as I would have loved to continue playing on that other world and build all this up from scratch, it is very nice having this stuff around in order to get some of these materials a little bit faster. That is super cool. Plus, I mean, look at that thing. Straight majestic. Plus, we're on the edge of a pretty deep ocean. I actually haven't gone down too far. Or lake. I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure this would be attached to the ocean. But we're right by an ocean. We have a savanna biome, I think that's called. Plains, forest of some kind. We also have a swamp over that way still, so there is hope for a witch spawner without having to go too far out. Though I will have to look into it and see if there is in fact a witch hut there, of course. We are missing out on the tundra, unfortunately, but you know, you can't win them all. Instead, we just have this glorious island, or not island. It would be a cape, I guess. Yeah, it sort of juts out from the mainland. Actually, the water might go almost all the way around. I haven't checked too far. Haven't checked too far into it. Okay. It's stuff like this that has really slowed down the progress, though. So if you go to any of these normal villages, you will find these paths are not nearly as sort of clear-cut. They have a lot of variance to them. Oh, sweet. That grew very fast. Like you saw there, here, just like little bits and pieces that provide a little bit more texture to it. But I really like these clear-cut paths, at least for now, so I actually went around and grew grass and cut into the paths and all that jazz to make them a little bit nicer. I have burned so much time doing random stuff like this for no good reason, just because it looks better to me. Which is exactly what has kept me from making progress in game dev as well. So if you've been following along any of my social media accounts, you will have gathered that I'm currently working on a game, an indie game called Oboe, a small little thing, not looking to turn it into like a commercial product or something, just planning on releasing it for free as one of the first projects that I've really truly completed solo. I've put out 3 mobile games before, but this will be the first really fully featured, polished experience, which I am very much looking forward to. But I have gotten to a point where I'm starting to build out more levels, and I just cannot convince myself to work on it. I've laid out step-by-step plans for how to progress. I've thought about a ton of the different elements of it and all that jazz. Like, I have a plan for exactly what I need to get done. And it's not difficult stuff, and it's not like boring or dull or annoying stuff. It's very interesting, very interesting stuff. My gosh, my word choice today. And yet I just cannot compel myself to work on it, and I don't really know why. So instead, here I am on Minecraft with a nice little recap episode, or not recap episode, I guess a sort of, we're going to call it a recap episode, getting the series back up to date after 4 episodes, because I screwed up a little bit. So yeah, not going to accomplish too much in this episode. Just wanted to give a brief overview, talk about what was going on, and why the world was so different. The next thing that I'm going to be working on in the next episode will be thoughts. I talked faster than I was thinking. Nice. Right. The next thing I'm going to be working on is the same one that I was going to previously be working on, and that is to get some farms up and running and start trading with villagers. Both of those are things I want to get into nice and early. It'll give me access to a lot of cool items. I also want to. Yeah, no, that's about it. Yeah. I'm really getting out of my own thoughts today. So we're just gonna wrap it up there. I think I've recapped this and run around this this village for quite enough time now. So in next episode, I will be working on the. I'm going to be working on farms again, and I'm going to be working on villager trading. I'm going to be doing some research, figuring out sort of the best way to do it, or to get started with it, and all that jazz. And by the best way to get started with it, I mean actually look up how villager trading works, not necessarily like look up villager trading systems or strategies or whatever, if those even exist. Nice little trash can there. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna wrap this up. The fun thing about this, it literally saves you from accidentally stepping in it. I mean, yes, you still get set on fire, but you know, everything has its downsides. But it, it's a nice little trash compactor that keeps you from throwing yourself in the trash. Even if sometimes that's what I want to do. Alright, if you've enjoyed this, whatever this has been, hit that like button, maybe think about subscribing. If you didn't, that is very understandable. Actually, I mean, that might be the only sane thing to do. And why don't you smash that dislike button, and if you are subscribed, I don't know, maybe think about unsubscribing. Alright, until next time, I hope to see you there.